Israel, as we know, took every step to undermine UNRWA, the UN agency, with a lot of allegations about UNRWA staff being members of Hamas, effectively blocked UNRWA operations in the north of Gaza. The World Central Kitchen withdrew after the attacks on its convoy. So the distribution of the aid that is piling up outside Gaza is itself extremely difficult. No doubt the situation within Gaza to distribute aid is very difficult. So, I think the evidence shows that Israel's allies have been increasingly frustrated that Israel has not been expediting aid at a point when there is famine, risk of famine in Gaza, risk of disease, lack of water and essential supplies and medical facilities. Otherwise, why would the US and UK and other Western leaders have been speaking in the way that they have been?
Forgive me, Mr. MacDonald, you asked specifically about evidence, and I would like to refer to the evidence that I had begun addressing earlier, namely the 449,230 tonnes of aid. It was asked how this compared with previous lorries of humanitarian assistance entering Gaza. It far outstrips the previous. It is also over 3 times the humanitarian provision that the World Food Programme estimates is required to feed the entire population of Gaza. And therefore we must ask ourselves, what is the impediment? Clearly, the 650 lorries that are waiting to be distributed factor into that, but it is also significant that the Fatah authorities have over the last few days been clear that Hamas in Gaza is hijacking aid, is depriving civilians of that aid, is stockpiling it, and is selling excess aid off in the black market at inflated prices. It has also been accused of killing aid workers in an attempt to generate a humanitarian crisis. Why would it do so, you may ask? Because it is plain that Hamas's only aim in the current circumstances is to survive and to drive up international pressure, as it has been doing, and the comments referred to are indicative of that, on Israel to cease its operation in Gaza. That, of course, would enable Hamas to survive and to continue not only to suppress and oppress the Palestinian civilians in Gaza, but also to fire rockets onto the Israeli civilian communities in Israel. That firing continued only yesterday. So that is an important aspect of the evidence that we have, the volume of aid going in and the real reasons as to why there may still be shortages in Gaza. But the references to some of the requirements, legal requirements on aid, are also important to be clear on. It was suggested to you that humanitarian relief is required without limit. That is not correct. Article 23 of the 4th Geneva Convention is very clear that the requirement to facilitate aid into Gaza is caveated so that it is not diverted to enemy forces. In fact, the requirement doesn't apply where aid cannot be successfully provided without diversion. Nonetheless, as in previous conflicts, Israel is going far above the actual requirements on it.